What's up, guys? It's Showtime. Showtime Shred Fitness over here. Size, growth, whoosh, get big. All right. So today we had I was watching was randomly watching videos, right? I was watching Generation Iron. This guy comes along and he's a natural guy, okay? He's all natty. He preaches all natty. He's proud to be all natty, and I think it's great. And he says he's, not very many people could touch him. He's probably right. But he's he's one of those guys that, I feel like I haven't seen how he looks like in shape. So I don't know if he's been on stage. I haven't looked this guy up. But just sitting there, he looks decent. And I feel sorry for him, though, because he says that a lot of people just flat out, they don't believe him. And that's really too bad, but it's a compliment to him, of course, because, I always tell people who are clean, people get accused all the time of being on juice. I said, don't even worry about it, dude. That's a compliment. So just next time that somebody tells you, hey, man, you juicing? You tell them only with oranges, right? Or you say, no, I'm not, but thanks for the compliment, right? Because you're obviously doing something right. Because I've seen guys that juice, and I'm like, you're doing what? You're taking what? You're doing the wrong shit, right? Or you're doing the wrong, you're either not eating enough, or you're taking fake shit, or you're taking it wrong, or you're not training right. There's something wrong. You're not sleeping enough. There's something wrong with you if you're not. I can't drop it down to just bad genetics, because I've turned people around that couldn't fucking put weight on to save their lives. They were lost. They were frustrated. They were skinny as a rail. They were training hard. They thought they were eating enough when in actuality they weren't, because they were fucking ectomorphs and they were not eating anywhere near enough. Probably not even half of what they should have been putting away. Okay, no, it wasn't. It was maybe a fourth, if that. And they thought they were eating enough. Okay, they were not eating anywhere. They were eating maybe 15 to 25% of what they should have been eating. They're not even putting half the calories away they need to put away. So, and here's another thing. This is why training is so important. Like this guy said, he's done 22 years nonstop, never stopped. And he said, there's nobody out there that does that. That's not 100% true, but he's partially right. Okay, there's very few people out there. It's probably like, I know quite a few people actually that have done that, 22 years or more consistently. But that's because I roll with the elite guys, right? And he's right, a lot of them are clean, and that's why they've been doing it for so long, right? But both enhanced and clean, I have friends that have done it, 22 years or more. But he's right, most of my friends that have done that are all natty, right? Like me, I started at age 5, okay? I wrestled 108 pounds in high school, so, I'd be one of those guys that if I was juicing, I was on the wrong plan, okay? And as hard as I worked, I'd have been bigger than that. Maybe not a lot bigger, but a little bigger. But anyways, because I had genetics against me, right? But that is the key. That is the key to anything, is putting in the time. And he said people that only have done 2 years or 4 years haven't paid their dues. I kind of disagree with that. If they've been going balls to the wall and done everything they can 2 to 4 years, you have to kind of earn the stripes. But that's my opinion. But that's an individual basis. I know freaking a lot of people have trained decades, literally decades, before touching anything at all, okay? And I fall in that category, by the way. But, because I started training at age 5, I told you that. And started bodybuilding age of 19, all natural. And so I definitely fell in that category, of earning the stripes and doing decades, literally decades of training. And then that's even up in the air, because so many times I got on stuff that was fake and would go years or months without having to be on anything, and then crashing and just all kinds of, I definitely paid my dues, no doubt about that. And as far as nobody else can touch him, as long as because he's definitely subjective in that area. Let's put it that way. Nothing against the guy. If he thinks he's the best looking natural guy in the world, it's subjective, right? Some people say that the best natural person on the planet was Steve Reeves. Some people say it was another really good one. I think, what's his name? Not Gene Hackman, but the other dude that was Sean Connery. He was a natty, Some people might say he was the best in that era of all time. That's going to be subjective, right? But as far as you put him up to Chad Martin or Ben Matheson, I actually like their physiques a little bit better, in my opinion, but they're my friends, right? So there's some subjectiveness to it. Plus, I see him sitting down on a couch one day in a shirt. Might not even be his best physique, right? Like I said, I haven't seen him on stage. Okay, I haven't seen him in tank top. I saw him in a short sleeve shirt. And so, it's subjective though. My dad's all natural, but he wasn't a bodybuilder, he was a powerlifter, right? Bill Savage had a really good physique back in his day. Everybody is different, and so to say he's got the best in the world, okay, based on what? That he's the best bodybuilder in the world, okay? Because he says he looks way better than Tony, and if you take the drugs out of it and say who looks better, drugs not drugs, right now I would have to give it to Tony, but because that's at least the vascular and stuff. But you take the drugs out of it, okay, who's better? And now you gotta factor in that one's clean and one's not. Well, that's a different. Let's compare apples and oranges, man. I don't know. Fuck, you gotta make that decision on which look is better. I don't know. It's hard to tell. I kind of like the full muscle bellies and the vascular and things like that. But again, now you gotta take the drugs into it. So one's on drugs, one's not. Well, it's not a fair comparison. You can't do that to somebody. He's putting himself into that category, though. It's like, well, don't do that. I'm not gonna go put compared to Ronnie Coleman. He's a better bodybuilder. Hands down. And then he was natural most of his career. And you take Kai Green, he was the top guy. He's a better bodybuilder than me. I'm sorry. If somebody goes, oh, you're better. Well, thanks for the compliment. I appreciate the opinion, but the stats. I'm a state champion. He's a world champion. You can't compare those two. I mean, you can. Well, one's better, right? Who's better? The world champion's better, right? It's like saying, well, you're a better bench presser than Ryan Kennelly because you bench press 500 in this federation over here. No, it's Ryan's better, and I'm talking about people who are. I'm talking about two different federations that are non-tested now. Don't get me wrong. If you're in a tested one and you're doing like 900 and you can prove you're clean, well, I don't know. Now you're comparing apples and oranges again, right? So that's why I just like to just compete in a certain federation that's non-tested and best athlete wins, right? And that's what I'm doing. Okay, so I'm a state champion, so you can't go and tell me. I mean, you can tell me, okay, you're better than this guy. Thank you very much, but no, I'm not. Not if he's an IFBB pro. Fair enough. I just believe that you have to say you're better than somebody. I think you have to beat them, unless, of course, if you're doing a tested federation and somebody compares you to, well, now you got to go like this. You go, okay, well, this guy is better than Kai Green because he's top 10 in a tested federation. No, Kai Green's better because Kai Green was first, second, or third every single time in a clean federation. So you can't lie like that and say that he's better than Kai Green because he's top 5 or top 10 in a tested one, because Kai Green was either the best or second best in the entire world in tested, and then he went to non-tested and he dominated that one, was top 2 in there. So the only time you could say, well, this guy's better than Kai Green, okay, I'll agree with you if you say Dorian Yates, because he's won it multiple times. I'll agree with you, say Phil Heath, because he's won it multiple times, and he beat Kai Green on the same day, even though Kai Green has beaten him before. So yeah, he's better than Kai Green, but by the hair of a gnat's ass. Fair enough. Got Arnold Schwarzenegger, Lee Haney. You could say those because they've won multiple titles. But if you say Sean Ray's better than Kai Green, no, he's not. They're the fucking same. They runner-up multiple times. Okay? Who else? Kevin Levrone. These guys that are Right there, now you're subjective. Who's better, Sean Green?